If your children have to start from scratch, if you're gone tomorrow, this live stream is for you. If you have spent decades building wealth, but you have never asked what your family name will stand for 100 years from now, this live stream is for you. If your greatest achievement will likely end with your own lifetime, this live stream is for you. If you want your family to become a blessing to generations yet unborn, not just one successful generation, then today's topic, family legacy, is for you. Today's topic, family legacy, is for you. This is me saying welcome to each and every one of you, wherever you are, watching across the world. To those of you watching us from on TikTok, over 46,000 of you. This is me saying thank you for your support and all your love. To those of you watching us from YouTube, over 1,005 of you, thank you for your love. To those on Facebook, over I think about 18,000, I can't remember. To those on Instagram, over 10,000. To those on LinkedIn, I think I lost count on that. This is me saying welcome to everyone. I do this every Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time. So a big shout out to you. Let us know where you're watching us from in the comment section. Please do well to let us know where you're watching us. Before we go straight into this, please share this live stream so other people can be a part of it. If you have not followed this channel, please follow this channel. Tom Zim, I don't know if you're following this channel. Please kindly follow this channel. Miss Rina, kindly follow this channel. As many of you that are watching right now, please kindly follow this channel. Turn on your notification buttons, please, so that you know when we have gone live. And we are currently on 1,200 likes on LinkedIn. Thank you very much, Otto Freddy. Please, Otto, if you have not followed this channel, please follow this channel and let us know where you're watching us from. Thank you very much. We are currently about 1,200 likes, or 1,400 now on LinkedIn. Please keep power tapping. Thank you very much to those that are power tapping right now. Keep power tapping so that the algorithm can suggest this channel to more people. All right. Thank you very much, Joe Smith. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, my good brother. I appreciate that. Please, to those on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, please also power tap so that the algorithm can recommend this channel to more people. Let's try and see how we can get up to 10,000 likes. Please, and let's take it up from there. Thank you very much, Misty Herman Kulas. Misty, are you following this channel? Please follow this channel, please. If you're not, just click on the follow button or the subscribe button or whatever. You'll go a long way. Thank you, Stephen. The same thing. Please, Stephen, follow this channel if you've not followed the channel before. Jacuzzi, Obi, are you following our channel? Please do so, please. Very much appreciated. All right. And power tap as well, Jacuzzi. Share this screen. Stephen, please share this live stream. Misty, share the live stream. Otto, please share this live stream so more people can be a part of it. All right. Remember, we have a free ebook. If you want to send us a DM, it's called Roadmap to Financial Freedom. I also have a paid ebook. It's called Idea to Shortlist Business. Thank you very much, Misty. Appreciate that. Oma Oma Omaukra. Thank you, bro. What do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a property developer. I'm also a short SME startup coach. Please follow this channel if you don't and like it. Omaukra 227. All right. Thank you very much. All right. My book is making headway. I think I have about 9 chapters more, and I call it a wrap. Hopefully, I can call it a wrap. Thank you very much, Jacuzzi. Be much appreciated for likes. So please be on the lookout. Working on the website, I was sent some drafts yesterday. I need to watch it and know if I'm happy with everything I see. Okay, so please keep expecting. A book will be out. It's called The Migration Mirage: Why Nations Lose Tomorrow and Lineages Fade. Okay. So look forward to it. On my channel, there's so many things. There are videos. There are not just videos of this live stream. There are other videos of different topics. There are some short films. There are different content items that we sell. Whatever it is, go on those channels and do well to look them out. All right. Amsterdam Official. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jacuzzi. I'll be very much appreciated. The whole idea of why I stream every Sunday 7 p.m. UK time is to stir up the satisfaction within you. Thank you very much, Ken J. Thank you. Ken J, please follow this channel, please. If you're not, just click on the follow button and share so more people can be a part of it. Thank you very much, Jacuzzi. That's the whole idea of why I do what I do every Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time. So stir up the satisfaction within your spirit, man. So awaken the possibilities, things that can be that have not yet become. That's one of the reasons why I do what I do every Sunday. All right. So this is me saying a big thank you to all our sponsors. The things you love, we can see you. The D6N Homes and Love Family Bunker. Please check out these channels and you can never go wrong working with them. All right. I'll talk more about them at the end of this story. So I remember what the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 7. Say, I've seen servants on horses while princes walk on the ground like servants. This is us saying to you that there's a place where God has designed for me and you. You know, so it's our duty to arrive at such spot. Right? So it's my desire that after all these things we're sharing today, you can get that inspired to want to take action. You know, I'm not a guru. I only teach the little things that Christ has done in my life. The little things. I'm here to provide guidance I desperately needed but never got. You know, things I wish. It's more like me talking to myself. Or 5 years ago, like my talking to my 5-year-old self, 10-year-old self, 20-year-old self, sharing to you today things I wish I knew those years. You know, and as I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself. So it's not just me talking at you. Thank you very much, Ken, sorry. Jesus is coming. Thank you very much. Jacuzzi Obi, thank you very much. All right, okay. For the last month, we've been having different compositions. We started on the first week, we started with family vision. The second week, we did family identity. The third week, we did family values. And this week, we're going to wrap up with family legacy. Thank you very much, Ebo Jim. And thank you to all that joined. Thank you very much, Big Dance, for the likes. Thank you very much, Kenny, for it. Thank you. Keep them coming, please. All right. So we're going to talk about family legacy today. Okay. So some people live for their lifetime, not for their family's future. You know, the average person plans for the weekend, they plan for the Christmas, they plan for retirement. Very few families intentionally plan for the next generation. I don't know how many families that plan for 50 years from now. I don't know how many families that plan for 100 years from now. The consequences of not doing such thing is that every generation starts from scratch. Children repeat their parents' struggles instead of building on the things that their parents have progressed on. You know, families make progress, then lose it, then start all over again. If you watch my channel, you would have heard me talk about this. I'll never get tired of saying the same things until I start seeing the kind of results that will help our community and help our world and help our place at large. All right. So a family without long-term thinking is like a relay race where every runner insists on starting from the starting line instead of receiving the baton. Another thing again is that some families have an inheritance but no successor. Across the world, thousands of businesses close every year after the founder dies or retires. Many farms, family enterprises, professional practices disappear because no one was prepared to continue them. Parents often spend decades building but very little time preparing who will continue. The problem is that people prepare projects. Yes, they do. They don't prepare people. You know, a true legacy is measured not by what you build, but by what you continue building when you're no longer there. I hope that we're getting the message. You know, some families know their favorite football club better than they know their family history. So my question to you is, do your children know where their great grandparents lived? That's my question to you. Can they name their great grandparents? Do they know why your family settled where it did? Do they know how your family overcame hardship or whatever it is? Many might not be able to answer this question, yet they know movie characters, they know celebrity birthdays, they know social trends. The question here is, or the thoughts I want you to leave with you is, when a family loses its story, every generation has to rediscover who they are. You know, I took it upon myself to create a family tree that I'll be putting in my hometown, so that when my children will get used to seeing, they already know my grandfather, who is their great grandfather, and my grandmother, who is their great grandmother, and they already know both from my mother's side and they already know both from my father's side. You know, so it's important that we bear these things in mind, so we don't have to keep trying to discover their stories. These things are very, very important. You know, so civilization that lasted were taught. Sorry, civilization that lasted were taught in centuries, not election cycles. I take that again. Civilizations that lasted were taught in centuries and not in election cycles. History shows that enduring societies invested in things that would never personally enjoy. Things that they would not personally enjoy are things that civilization or history has shown that investment has been done. Planting trees whose shade they will never sit under. Building universities for unborn generation. To be honest, let me just look up this. Perhaps it will help us, give us perspective. I went to do it. I was invited to London School of Business, and let me see if I can find when that school was open, and perhaps understand this point I just mentioned now. Okay. Okay. Well, I just want to type London School of Business was founded. I just want to say this. Perhaps it will help us understand. London School of Business was 1964. Right? London was founded 1964. Just a few. Nigeria was founded. Nigeria got our independence in 1960. So this university is 4 years. Nigerian independence is 4 years older than a university. So the British government or the British monarchy or whatever, I don't know who was sitting in power at that time, thought it wise to build such kind of university, you know, that has unborn generations are benefiting from. And if I change that now to, let's say, Oxford University, you know, Oxford University, I want to see how much it's going to say. Let me say Oxford University. I believe that it will be way more. Oxford University was founded in 1096. Think about it, guys. 1096. Let's talk about Cambridge University. Let's talk about Cambridge University. Cambridge University was founded in University. Hold on, what's my internet is a bit slow. Cambridge University was founded in 1209. Think about it. Then let's try Harvard University and see. Harvard University was founded in, these are just thoughts, things I just thought about while I'm just having this conversation with you. Harvard University was founded in 1634. Sorry, 1636. So think about it, guys. And what is the whole point? Civilization that lasted were taught in centuries, not in election cycles. History has shown that societies invested in things that they would not personally enjoy. They're not just thinking about themselves, they're thinking about unborn generations. So they built things like trees, they build things like, when you're driving on motorways, you're seeing trees and all those things. You might just think, oh, nature. Yes, some of them are natural forests and all that. But some of them are intentional things. Like if you come to Enugu, in the heart of Enugu, this place called Ungo Park, you see that those trees were intentionally planted there for generations yet unborn. Universities were built. I just mentioned to you some universities. Roads were constructed, bridges were built, institutions that outlived their builders, preserving records and traditions for centuries. I don't know how many of you that know a guy called David Olusojo or so. If you type David Olusojo, something like that, and you type maybe Black Britain, you might find this guy I'm talking about. Or even if you don't work with him, there are a lot of archives in the Nigeria that tell you about histories of the Black history, when we were founded, transatlantic slavery, colonialism, when Britain, what made Britain what it is, how King James was involved, how these records were kept on purpose. Where I did my university, there's a museum in that place. It's called Pontypridd Museum. It tells you even see the first bridge in that community and the kind of the horse and the carts that were rode on those bridges and went. And when they turned into a bridge where vehicles were, all those things. I'm just saying that because I mentioned preserving records and traditions for generations. Some of the things you do today, people preserve them. They didn't just you didn't just follow from someone. People preserve the things that your forefathers did and your ancestors did up to this point. Strong families think in the same way. So history tells us that people that did things, they're not just thinking about themselves. What we're enjoying today, what do they call it? Strong families think in the same way. What are we building that our grandchildren will thank us for? These are conversations that in my family we've already had. What are we building that our grandchildren will thank us for? Many parents build comfortable lives, but not enduring institutions. Families often leave behind a house, savings, cars. Very few leave a scholarship fund, a family business that survives generations, a charitable foundation, a written family constitution, a documented family archive, a lasting community project. So the conversation is, a possession serves one generation. An institution can serve many, 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 many generations. So what is your choice and what do you want for your own family? Most people, or many people, or some people want to be remembered, but few people live intentionally enough to be remembered. The choice is yours. So I want to ask you today, 100 years from now, today is 2026. So 100 years will be 2126. That's what it will be. Now it's 2026. Then 100 years from now will be 2126. That's if Jesus tarries. Who would mention your name? That's the question. Why? Because you owned a nice car? They might never remember your nice car, your nice watch, how you looked, your nice skirt, your Louis Vuitton bag, whatever. They will not remember any of those things. Because would they remember those things, or because you transformed lives? If you transformed lives, they'll remember you. Today, my children watch Michael Jackson's videos because he was an enigma. It was a massive blessing to our world, a massive blessing to our times. I don't like to focus on the things that the media like to focus on concerning his life. I just focus on his awesomeness and how good he was and how a blessing he was. In spite of the difficulties he faced at the time, he was still a legend. So would they remember you because you transformed lives? Would they remember you because you built institutions? Would they remember you because you mentored leaders like Martin Luther King or Nelson Mandela? Would they remember you because you strengthened families? What would they remember you for? Would they remember you because you changed your family? What would they remember you for? Today, people will talk about things like Desmond Tutu, things like people like Mary Slessor, people like Dora Akunyili, people like Winston Churchill, people like William Wilberforce, people like William Tyndale. People will talk about all these people. What would they say about you? What would they say about you in the next 100 years? In 2126, that's 100 years from now, what would they say about you? Will you remembered, or will you be just one of the people that existed in numbers? History remembers contributions, not consumptions. The choice is yours. Families often inherit assets they cannot manage. Across many countries, inherited properties is frequently sold quickly, left abandoned, tied up in legal disputes, poorly managed, maintained, divided into pieces, too small to be productive. The issue is often not asset itself, but the absence of planning, the absence of communication, and the absence of preparation. A lasting legacy requires stewardship, not just ownership. If you don't transfer stewardship to the next generation, they will sell those things, they will go in the bin, and it will not be of value. The world's greatest legacies were rarely built in one generation. Many enduring institutions, universities, hospitals, charities, family, businesses, and places of worship grew over decades or centuries because successive generations carried the vision forward. Go and type St. Paul's Cathedral. I think it's one in opposite the Parliament in central London. And you can tell how many years it is. Thank you, Ado and Yvonne. Thank you very much for your questions. All right. So my question to you guys are, is your family building something that ends with you or something that can continue without you? That is a question for me and for you. Thank you very much, Salah. A question for me and for you. All right. Every family is already writing its own legacy. The choice is yours, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Every family is leaving a record. Future generations will either say they prepared the way for us, or they will say they had to rebuild everything themselves. Every decision today becomes tomorrow's family history. The question is not whether you leave a legacy. The question is, will your legacy become a foundation that leaves future generations, or a lesson that's about missed opportunities? The choice is yours. What do you want? That's a question for you. What do you want? What do you want? So my advice for each and every one of us is, your surname is only borrowed from the past. Your responsibility is to hand it to the future in better conditions than you received it. Or I can also add this. Imagine meeting your great grandchildren another 50 years from now. Would they thank you or ask you why you never thought beyond your own lifetime? Are you just thinking about yourself, thinking about now? Why didn't you think more in your own lifetime? That's the question they're going to ask you, right? So let's crack on. And me, I don't like to assume, so I always like to define the terms that we're discussing. All right. What does legacy mean? Legacy is what lives on after you. It is not merely what you leave to people, but what you leave in people and what continues to exist because you lived. That's what legacy is. Family legacy then is the story your family continues to write long after your own chapter has ended. Family legacy is the enduring impact a family leaves on future generations through its people, principles, possessions, and positive contribution to society. Family legacy is very important, and that's why, in the words of Miles Monroe, he said, the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without purpose. And that is to say, a meaningful legacy begins with living a life of purpose. Without purpose, there is little of lasting value to pass on. I also remember the words of Billy Graham. He said, the greatest legacy one can pass on to one's children and grandchildren is not money or material things that are accumulated in one's life, no, but rather a legacy of character and faith. A legacy of character and faith. Wealth may be inherited, but character and faith shapes generations. I think if you watch my stream in the past, I've done analysis on a family that were a faith-driven family, driven by teachings of the scriptures and the Bible, and a family that would not go that way, and their generations were outcome of what the seeds of those generations gave back to. If you want, you can check my previous streams. You can find, I think that would have been Family Vision or something like that last month, right? So wealth may be inherited, but character and faith shapes generation. I just thought I would reiterate that. Then in the words of Peter Shopple. He said, legacy is not leaving something for people. It is leaving something in people. What do you leave in people? What's that thing? What's that thing you're leaving in people? Your greatest legacy is not measured by what you own, but by the life you influence. Who are you influencing today? That's my question to you. The Bible makes us understand in Psalm chapter 145, verse 4. It says, one generation shall commend your works. You know, sorry guys, let me just put my charger so it doesn't run this battery there. All right, thank you. Yeah, so Bible in Psalm chapter 154, verse 4, it says, one generation shall commend your works to another and shall declare your mighty acts. That is to show that God is generational minded. If he is saying that generation upon generation will celebrate his works, that means he expects us to be able to be generation minded in everything we do. Generation minded, not just now minded. Thank you very much, Jack Kamara and Jacuzio Obi. Thank you for the likes. So, guys, the question is yours. Legacy is not measured by the date on your gravestone, no, but by the number of generations your life continues to influence. So I always say to people, a typical example is Henry Ford. If you don't know, if you don't even know Henry Ford, any car you see Ford is made by a man called Henry Ford. That man's generation, by the way they've structured it, I don't think they'll ever go poor in life. How about that for your own generation? How about that legacy for such kind of generation? The kind of things you leave in them. And if you look at the family life, there are things that are already stipulated for them before they can climb up to a certain cadre in the company that their ancestor, Henry Ford, created for them. Why must your own family start from where you always start from something? Why can't they continue from where you stopped? Why? So we're going to have a conversation. Before we go to the conversation, thank you for those that are putting on likes on the channel. Well done. A big thank you. Please, for all those on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn, please do the same thing. We have over 6,800 likes right now on TikTok. It would be nice if we can do the same thing on other channels. So this channel will be recommended to other people, and more people can be blessed by what you're benefiting. A big thank you to Obi, Jacuzzi Obi, and to Jack Kamara, and to as many people that have been liking and sharing. Please take a moment to share this live stream so more people can be a part of it. Take a moment as well to put in your thoughts and your comments as well. And thank you to all those. Thank you very much for your thoughts, Misty, Ado, and as many people that have commented as well. Thank you very much. Why most families never build a legacy? This is a thought to remember. Why don't they build a legacy? Why can't they be bothered? A family without legacy doesn't stop existing in one generation. It slowly fades in every generation. The choice is yours. One of the reasons why those families don't build a legacy, or they can't be bothered, or they don't know how to, is because of what they have. They have no bigger purpose than themselves. Most families are busy pursuing personal success, not family significance. They get a job, they pay house rent, they pay bills, they retire. That's all they're concerned about. But they never ask question, what does our family exist for? They don't ask kind of question. What contributions shall our family make to the world? Without purpose, there can be no legacy. So if your family does not think in that way, nothing can happen. Purpose gives birth to legacy. Every generation lives only for itself. That's what some families are like. Nothing meaningful is passed on except possessions. The family name carries on. Nothing, no influence. The family name has no influence from one generation to another generation. Purpose gives birth to legacy. You ensure that your family has a purpose, it will give birth to legacy. As we go forward, I think when I share some stories, we'll better understand it. All right? Okay. They never, is another reason that they never create a family vision. Why? Businesses have vision statements. Companies have strategic plans. Nations have long-term plans. But many families have never had a single conversation about what are we going, where are we going, what do we want our family to become, what should our surname represent. If there is no destination, there will be no lasting legacy. So the outcome for things like this is that everyone pursues their own agenda. That's how that family will be. Every family becomes a collection of individuals instead of one united vision. We talked about this when we talked about family vision last month. Family story ends with one generation. Where there is no family vision, there can be no family legacy. So vision is paramount to a legacy. All these things are intertwined. All right. Okay. They think legacy begins when they are old. That's some people, they leave this thing to old age or to when they are old. You know why? Many people believe when I become wealthy, when I retire, when I'm older. I was having a conversation with a young, one of my mentees today, a young teenager. I said to him that when my children were born, I was more interested in the years where I was just wishing that I wish they can just become old so that they can just start transferring the things, the little things that Christ has taught me into their life so they can start shaping their destinies. I was just so eager. I cherish the baby stages and the walking all this year, but I was more interested in the age now, especially my first two. Get it? So that I can start transferring those things. So what am I trying to say is that you don't have to wait till you're old to start transferring these things. No. You know, you don't either have to be so old like Methuselah or somebody that is so old to be able to know that what a family legacy is. No. You know, they think about legacy, but legacy is not built at the end of life. No. It is built in the ordinary decisions you make every day. So years are wasted, wisdom dies unrecorded, opportunities to mentor the next generation are lost, families run out of time. Legacy is not your last chapter. It is a story you write every single day. So what do you want the next generation of your life to partake of? What's that legacy you want? So the next thing is that they build lives that depend on one person. We had this conversation yesterday when I was talking to my schoolmates. I was privileged to have that conversation with them. We were talking yesterday about your time versus your money. And we talked about some of these things. When the family builds all their strength on one person, that is to say, maybe the father or the mother or the breadwinner or the brother or someone. Everything revolves around one individual, one breadwinner, one decision maker, one business owner, one leader. No one else is intentionally prepared to continue the journey. You know, when that person dies or retires or becomes unable to lead, the business struggles, the vision disappears, the family progresses slows and stops. The next generation starts all over again. A family that has not that family has not built a legacy until it can thrive without its founder. So this is a thought for each and every one of us to bear. If you want your family to continue this way, it's entirely up to you. If your family gathers 100 years from now, what would they thank you for? If you don't hear anything, hear this one. You know, would they say they gave us a vision? Would that what they say about you? They built something that outlived them. Is that what they say about you? They changed the direction of our families forever. Is that what they'll say about you? Everything ended with them. Is that what they'll say about you? The choice is yours. The choice is yours. Pause and reflect. True measure of a family is not what the first generation achieved. No. But what the fifth generation is still able to build because of the foundation of the first generation. I've said this and I'll keep saying it again. We are living in a world that only thinking about themselves, me, myself, and I. My enjoyment, my. Look at the Bible. It talks about the foolish fool. Talk about the Bible. Jesus Christ talked about it. I will build my barn. I will my this, my that, my this, my that. Somebody once asked me, I think I talked about this yesterday, what I do with all this money you're amassing. I said to him, if you don't know what to do with your money, bring it for me. I come from a community that has a lot of poverty. I would love to see that poverty end by creating jobs. I love to see that poverty end by providing health care for my community. I love to see better public health where they can have access to good toilets, not pit latrines. There's nothing wrong about it, but something clean. I love to create more water systems for them so they can have water. I love to create schools so they can learn. I also love to create an adult literacy program so that the older ones can still keep learning. I can go on and on. Scholarships, you know. So I know what to do with money. If you don't know what to do, bring it for me. I can help you out with it. So generations, everything must not end with the first generation. If you can get to the fifth generation, the sixth generation, the seventh generation, then that is what that is a good thing. That's a good legacy for everyone. All right. So 4 questions every parent should ask about family legacy. Every parent should be able to ask this question. 1, if I'm gone, if I were gone tomorrow, what would continue without me? That's a question. This is a very big question to ask. The next question, because a true legacy is measured by what continues when the founder is no longer present. That's very important. Next question is, what do my family name represent 100 days from now? That's a very important question. A surname is inherited by birth, but honored by how each generation lives. Very, very important. The next question is, am I raising children or building future legacy builders? That's a question to ask. So, will my children simply inherit what I build, or will they multiply it? That is important. If you build things well, they will do it. A family legacy grows when every generation adds another chapter, not where it merely protects the last one. You can keep adding. I always say it. If your generation, your parents' generation are worth, let's say, $10 billion or 10 billion naira, the next generation should be worth like 1,000 billion naira, if there's anything like that. The previous upper generation should be worth 1,000 more, building upon what the previous generation has done. That is how the legacy should be formed. That's how things should be done. The next question is that if my great-grandchildren could meet me, would they thank me? That's the question you ask. Because why did you only live for yourself? That's the question I'm asking you. Would I ask you that question? Or you can put it this way. My thoughts are, the greatest compliment future generations can give you is, our lives are better because of your sacrifices you made before we were born. Will your generation make such kind of statement to you, that they're happy that they came from you? Bible says, through sin, through one man, sin came upon the earth. Through one man, righteousness came. Will the next generation, many, many, many years from now, 100 years from now, be grateful that they came through your lineage, or would they be angry and detest ever bearing that kind of, that's your son name? You know, I watched a movie and a guy was asked, why did you change your name? You have this background, I think from Albania. He said no, because he wanted to detach himself from where he came from, so he had to change his name. So when you see his name on the record, you will not think of where he came from. Is that how your generation would they be delighted to change their name so that they have nothing to do with your heritage? The choice is yours. So we're going to crack on because our time is fast spent. And I want to touch on about one or two families, depending on the time permits. Thank you very much for the likes. Keep them coming, guys. This is the Hoshi family. This is a true life story, guys, from Japan. I hope that we learn from their story, okay? In 1718 AD, that's after death, there were no cars, no planes, no electricity. Nigeria was not even one country. Different countries they were at that time. No United Kingdom, no United States. The Vikings had not yet begun their famous raids. The nomad conquest of England is still 348 years away. Yet, in one small town called Awazu in Japan, one family starts a simple inn, as they made a hotel. The founder's name is Tiaocho Diaishi, a Buddhist monk who is credited with discovering the hot springs, and the inn came under the stewardship of Hoshi Yokan family. The business has remained in the same family for approximately 46 generations. Guys, oh God, this kind of thing these are kind of things that keep my adrenaline pumping. If you don't know, Japan has the highest number of businesses that are transgenerational. They have over 500 businesses that have lasted for over 500 years. They're the #1 country, followed by America. Businesses have gone from one generation to another generation and have lasted for 500 years and more. That is an amazing thing to do. So it's a country to learn from, right? Think about this. While empires rose, empires collapsed, wars happened. What wars happened? Industrial revolutions came, internet invented, artificial intelligence emerged. One family quietly continued passing responsibility from one generation to the next. Not for 50 years, not for 100 years, for more than 1,300 years. Do your research. More than 1,300 years. A family passed the business down that long. That must be a family that is intentional. A family that is intentional. A family that don't wake up one day and say, I'm not doing. I don't do again. No. An intentional family. Being intentional, even in choosing the spouse who you marry. That's intentionality. All right? The amazing part is that the current generation never believed this business belongs to me. Instead, every generation saw it as a custodian, not as an owner. That's why sometimes, with all due respect, when I see some people with braided hairs, especially men, I say to them, go and study the Japanese people, where they are passing down businesses from one generation to another. What time will you have to braid your hair? One of my teenagers was asking me, when last you cut your hair? Look at it. Last time I cut this hair was in May, when I was in China. Before then, last time I cut it was in Nigeria, January. I don't have that time. My wife doesn't have time to cut it. It will remain like that. Whenever she has the time, we'll cut it. Well, if I don't remember to comb it, my wife is the one that says comb it. People are passing down generation, business from one generation to another. What time do you have to be thinking of, oh, today I'm going to do this hairstyle? Oh, I've not actually, my hair needs conditioner. Oh, my hair needs, which style? Okay, I will need attachment to add on it. That is a mundane thing, without due respect to anyone. That is it. There's nothing wrong with it. But go and put yourself in the shoes of these people that have built empires this long and check whether they have time for this kind of mundane things. Their mindset is that we received this from the previous generation. We must leave it stronger than the next generation. That single mindset changes history. That single mindset. The lesson for it is that most families think, what can I achieve in my lifetime? The Hoshi family asks this question, what can our family preserve for centuries? All right? This is legacy, and a legacy that everybody should think about. My question to you is that you have enjoyed your life. Your children have figured out all these things. I want you to think not just of second generation, not just of 10th generation. Think more, 50 years from 50th generation. What is the impact? So that is the question for you. How many generations does your family currently remember? That's what you should ask yourself. In the past, your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, how many? Yes, the past is gone. Federal say the past is gone, but the future has no right to take us by surprise. So I want to challenge you. Think generational. Learn from this Japanese family that transferred their business for 1,300 generations. Not one, not two, 1,300. Time will not permit me. There's another family I want to look at. Is the Rothschild family. You can look them up on the internet. But please, I want you guys to be very, very intentional in whatever you're doing right now. Be mindful of, if you're not yet married, be mindful of who you're getting married to. So you're building a legacy that will outlive you. If you are married, you need to be intentional about keeping the sacredness of your marriage, raising children in the right way, building a family legacy that will outlive you, so that the generations yet unborn will be grateful that they passed through you and not be cringing their teeth and regretting, what kind of family is this? It's never too late to get it right. One generation can turn this around. So as we wrap this up, your family name is already written history. That's very important. Every generation either increases or decreases with the value of the family name. So what are you making out of it? What are you making out of it? Next thing I want you to bear is that you are living someone else's legacy today. That's, no matter how you are, you can just say, I don't care, just live my life. I want to live the way I live, be myself at night. But your life is someone else's legacy, whether you like it or not. The language you speak, the opportunities you have, the education, your faith, whatever it is you do, is someone else's legacy tomorrow. Your surname. So think about it. What decisions are you making today that people not yet born will one day thank you for? You are both the beneficiary of someone else's legacy and the architect of someone else's future. So be mindful of that when you're doing your daily actions. The greatest danger is not that your family will become poor, no, but that it will become forgotten. God forbid. Somebody say God forbid. A forgotten family is a family that stopped thinking beyond itself. They never thought about the future. Go and check up that Japanese family. It's giving me goosebumps as I'm even thinking about it right now. Okay? All right. The last thing I want to say before I allow you guys, or I take your questions, is God never intended you to be a destination. No, that's not God's desire. So take that, man. Is my family merely enjoying God's blessings or becoming one? Legacy begins the moment your family stops asking, what can we get that uplifts us? That is it. And I hope that everything I've shared today has either been a blessing or challenged your reason in one form or the other. Thank you very much, Julia. So I'll allow you guys to make comments, contributions, or whatever it is you want to say. I hope that a lot has gone in. Please, we have about 15 odd minutes. If you want to share anything, please come up and share your thoughts as we wrap this up. This is me saying, yeah. So I can also take questions. If anybody has any thoughts, Instagram, Facebook, or anything, I think especially Facebook and the Facebook that can come online. I'm going to drop a link, and if you can share, come on and share your thoughts live, it'll be nice. Otherwise, just drop your comments and yeah. So for those on Facebook, I just dropped a comment. I just dropped a link. Check that link out. With that link, you can come on live and have a conversation with me live on here. For those on TikTok, the same thing. You can come on live and share your thoughts. Don't be shy. You know, it was one day I came on the camera, and today I'm having a conversation with you today. So please feel free to come on and have a conversation. You never know who you're going to bless by the little you're going to say. Okay. So yeah, come on, guys. Anybody, anyone out there? Those on Facebook, those on TikTok, anybody. As I prepare to take questions. All right. Thank you very much. And I hope that you guys are learning a thing or two. All right. Tom Zima, thank you very much for your thoughts. Thank you for your thoughts. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Tom Zima. Thank you, Otto Freddy. A big thank you to all of you. Missy Herman Kula says that is there any incident or memory from your own life that inspired you to work deeply on family legacy? Yes. Guys, go on my channel. No, not my channel. Go on Love Family Podcast. Type Love Family Podcast on YouTube. If you scroll down, you see I did a podcast with my father, my biological father. He shared a story that inspired me. My grandfather was blind when my dad was a child. And my grandfather was in a school of the blind in Lagos, Nigeria, Southwest Nigeria. And he said that my dad said that my grandfather was sending him tuition, school fees from Lagos to him in the village in Enugu, Southeast Nigeria, for my dad to go to secondary school. You know, and it's astonishing that even though he was blind, he still knew the importance of education. And in spite of his difficulty, he didn't just say, oh, let me just think about myself. But instead, he was sending money down so that my dad will have a better education, which will provide him more opportunities in life. And in turn, it has helped me today. In turn, it has helped my children, and it will keep helping my generations yet unborn. So the answer to your question is yes. That incident inspires me to keep pursuing family legacy, because the generations before me were not selfish, they were selfless. And I just gave you an example. Then also, when you come to my community, they say, oh, this is your land. This one is your land. That one is your land. And I pause to think, what were the thoughts of my forefathers, my ancestors, people in the old? Why did they keep land for us, for the generations yet unborn? How did they get it? How did they amount? Whatever it is, either they agreed and shared it among themselves, or they must have been able to bring out their own money to buy it and keep for their generations, yet unborn. Why will it get to my turn and the baton will drop down? God forbid. So thank you for your question. It's very deep, very profound. Mr. Herman Kulas. And I hope that people have learned from what you shared and the things, my response to you. Thank you, Stephen Delaney. Much appreciated. Nice to hear. Please, if you don't follow me, please follow my channel. As many of you, Suleimantu, thank you very much. If you're not follow my channel, please. All right. Thank you very much, Omauka227. Much appreciated. I already told you what I do for a living. Ken J. Ugly, thank you very much. Ken J. Ugly, I think you have a question. Let me see. It says, if someone wants to create a meaningful legacy for their family starting today, what should be their very first step? That's a profound question as well. In addition to the things that I shared, I highly recommend they need to change their mentality. Where's my book? Okay. This is a very profound book. I'll never get tired of recommending this book. It's called Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. What is the question? It says, why on earth am I here? If you don't have an understanding of why you're on this earth, you'll be driving in the wrong direction with high speed and no progress. So this is my challenge for you. This is a very good to change your mentality. And this is a very good book to start with. All right. Another book is the Bible. It's a generational thinking book. It's a family legacy book. I'm not here to debate religion with anybody. No, I'm telling you that if you can give the Bible 3 good months in thinking, start from the book of John, New Testament. It will change and shape your thinking and make you a generation-minded person, right? So thank you very much for that question, Ken. And I hope that others have learned. So let us take on the question of Kathleen D. She said, we generally want to leave behind only our successes. But what is the best way to pass on the lessons learned from the mistakes or failures of our lives to our families? To be honest, my dad my dad consistently shares his struggles, his challenges, and things he faced. So the Bible tells us as well that it's important that you tell your children, remind them of the covenants and everything. Tell your children that. I'm sure that not just about telling them the covenant, you're also telling them things. Pass on precepts. Bible talks about it. So my dad takes out time to talk to them. My mom does the same thing too. My wife also tells me things that her father's told her and her mother's told her. So one of the best ways is not just telling them what works, also telling them what didn't work so they learn from it. I remember my mom telling me things, my grandmother telling me things like, whenever you're going somewhere, always make sure you tell somebody where you're going to. I don't forget that thing. Always make sure. Don't think that don't be too proud. I'm myself, I'm a man of myself, and don't, you say, always tell somebody where you're going to. It makes a whole lot of difference. Maybe, yes, you might say, oh, there's phone, there's tracker, there's everything. But I still uphold that old values, that old teaching from my grandmother, So, Kathleen, one of the best ways is to share them. If you share them, your children record them and they'll pass them on from generation to generation. And some people will even write them down and to help generations yet unborn. I hope that helps. Thank you for your question. It's very profound and nice. All right, let's take a question from Yvonne. She says, in simple terms, what do you understand by legacy or family heritage? That is what I've been saying for the last 50-odd minutes or 50-something-odd minutes. Yvonne, please take out time to, if you missed what I'm saying, go back to my channel on YouTube, type my name, Onyekwelu, click on the live section, and you can watch the video again, pause it and watch it, and pause and watch it. That's all about what I talked about today. So for time, I might not be able to go over it again, all right? Thank you very much for that question. Let us take the question of Adoboy Ado. He says, what is the greatest challenge in leaving behind a good example for one family? The greatest challenge is what? Lack of purpose. When you don't know the reason why you're here, it's a big challenge to leaving behind a good example. If you know why you're on this earth, it makes a whole lot of difference. Yes, you make some mistakes here and there, but you stay on track and keep pressing on. So thank you for that question, all right? Okay, Mystic Herman Carlos, thank you very much. November, thank you very much. Peter Akiana says, how are you, bro? I just joined your live stream. I want to ask you a question. Go ahead, Peter. Your question is, through your own life and work, for what specific values or achievements do you wish to be remembered for by future generations? Wow, this is a very emotional question. Yes, Peter, thank you for the question. I want to be remembered as a father, a compassionate husband, to my wife, an amazing father to my children, a passionate lover of Christ, passionate, a blessing to my community. I come from a place called Iswawa in a local government in Enugu State of Nigeria. I want to be known as a son of the soil, like a son that they are very proud of. No, I want to be known as a proud Nigerian. I don't want to exist. I want that when we talk about Nigeria today, we talk about Nnamdi Azikiwe, we talk about Obafemi Awolowo, We talk about Ahmad Bello. We talk about Jim Ojukwu. We talk about Dora Akunyili. We talk about so many leaders, Obasanjo, Goodluck Jonathan. I want my name to be in the sand of times of Nigeria as a nation. When you talk about Africa, you talk about Kwame Nkrumah. You talk about the three kings that went to England and demanded for the freedom of Botswana. You talk about Nelson Mandela, you talk about Thabo Mbeki, you talk about Desmond Tutu. That's where I want my name to be, in the sand of times. That's what I want to remember for. I want generations yet unborn. I want to be able to put the name of my community in the world map. So when you think of some towns, you don't think of, I want to be able to get my family to the point where if you see a letter with my name, Onyekwelu ILOGE, you don't need to ask which one. That letter will come straight to my community where I come from, and they can be able to hand it down to somebody like me. That's where I want to get to. And with the help of God, we shall get there. So I don't want to die an ordinary life. I believe that I've been able to, my mind has been open to know that my life is not an ordinary life, it's an extraordinary one. That's why I expose my children to watch the videos of Michael Jackson, because he's an extraordinary human being. He's different. I expose them, they watch people like Messi and Ronaldo. These people are different. Pele. I subject my children to watch documentaries that will challenge their mind beyond now, to think heavily, to be on the extraordinary level. I did a live stream on being extraordinary, so you can look that up. I hope, and thank you for your question, Peter. I hope that that helps. All right, Misty Herman says, I listened to your words very carefully. It's wonderful. It was very good. Thank you very much for your kind words. Much appreciated. Julia says, hello, sir. Thank you, Julia. Much appreciated. And Bembe says, sir, you talked about the legacy of character and faith, but I saw many families whose legacy go down after their demise. And he went on to say, their children live a good life, but after their parents are gone, their children could not handle the family legacy. What do you think could be the problem? Is it that, and I went on to say, is it that after character and faith of a people, what can be done to ensure that generations to come do not destroy the family legacy? I mean, is it the time? Is it that time affects the character of people? Yeah, to be honest, remember, I did an analysis on two families. I think they're Jewish people. One were Christians, and he went on to produce senators, vice presidents in America, and one that did not go that way and ended up producing prostitutes, thieves, and what have you. Except this word, the Bible, is fake. But as long as this word is passed on from generation to generation, and it's passed on, and each generation understands the importance, that generation will continue to go. A good example, like I pointed out to you, is the Rothschild family. If you want to look them up there, it's a Jewish family as well. So I strongly believe that a family that structures how they want the next generation to be will go a long way. Another thing again could be that per nature, you don't trust the next generation. You can put those family assets in a trust. I don't have time. There was another family I would have analyzed. He put all his things in a trust. So the next generations cannot sell the things. They can only build upon them, and they can only take up the proceeds from those things and a benefit of them and improve them, but they can't sell them or go back to square one. So character is important, can be transferred. Faith is paramount, can be transferred. And I believe that with well-structured structures of assets or wealth or whatever it is, you can move from one generation to another generation. It's very possible. And in my lifetime, I believe that God will help us to make that possibility, that generations yet unborn, many years, it can only get better. It can't go backwards. And it's very possible. And the way that my parents trained us and the way we're training our children and the way that they can't be otherwise. I'm not saying people cannot change, but I'm so grateful to God. Look at the Bible, because of the covenant God had with David, he ensured that his generations yet unborn must always be successful. God is a merciful God. He will continue to see that because of the efforts of previous ancestors, I will continue to see that this family continues in this path that the family go. And that's why in the Bible's, I think it was Joshua who that said, as for me and my family, we will serve the Lord. So for me and my own family, my generation serve God, Christ, my family is serving Christ. The generation unborn must serve Christ. That's the way to go. And that so shall it be, with the help of God and not the help of man. But thank you very much, guys, for your questions. Very much appreciated. Our time is very fast spent. As we bring this to a close, please, thank you very much for all those that gave us the likes. We have 11,600 likes on TikTok. And I don't know how many likes we have on the other channels. I can't really see it. Thank you very much for your question. It's very much appreciated. All right. So, and to everyone that asked a question or two, very much appreciated. Thank you. So this means saying a big shout out to all of you. Remember, in our sponsors, the hair you love, the things you love, you want to check them out. It's spelled DTINSULUV. Check them out. If you have different items for sale, both wigs and different stuff, check them out. D610 Homes, property developers, real estate, both in UK and Nigeria, check them out. If you have money to invest, I don't know what to do, check us out. You can help us sort that out. Love Family Podcast, we have podcasts for families. Check this podcast out. And if you want to collaborate with us, if you want us to have a conversation about a thing or two, please reach out and we can work something out. All right. So this is me saying a big thank you to everyone that has asked questions and everyone that supports. A big thank you. So we've been talking about family legacy since Weber says you have answered the Bible, the Word of God. Thank you very much. Once the people have aligned with the Word of God, they surely succeed. Thank you. Yes. And like I said, Mr. Vember, I believe that the Hereford family has I think I did a research on them. They have a requirement for every every member of the lineage, the criteria they must achieve to be part of the board or to be on the company. So in that way, you see that each seed of that generation is striving hard to live by the things that the forefathers has written down, and that way, an intentionality is passed on one generation to another. They can say, I've watched movies where it says that if a child commits crime or is known for drugs or something, they can't partake of the family's wealth or whatever. And you see them working hard. Does it work? Absolutely no. But one thing I know that works is the Word of God, because only God can change a man. Only the Word of God can change a man and keep the man on track. So that is the primary thing that a lot of parents should transfer one generation to another. It can never go wrong. You can give wealth to your children, they will lose it. But with the Word of God, no matter what it is, they will always rise up again and again. All right? Thank you very much for your thoughts. They're very much appreciated. So I bring this to a close by thanking each and every one of you for your thoughts. I think there are over 300 of you today, and about 169 still here now. Thank you very much. And on TikTok, thank you very much for all the likes. Very much appreciated. A big thank you to my PA, to my social media manager, Dami and Venus. A big thank you to my wife, amazing wife, and my children. A big thank you to all my friends, all my mentors, all my colleagues at work and everyone. All those that I work with, a big thank you to all of you. Those that work together, a big thank you to all of you. Yes, let us know like and share this live stream, or let us know what your biggest takeaways are. Very, 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 very much appreciated. Next Sunday, same time, 7 p.m., we're having a conversation on our roots, our identity. Our roots, our identity. Our roots, our identity. That's our next conversation next Sunday. All right? So big saying thank you very much. Don't forget free ebook, paid ebook, and my book that's coming out. Please do well to look at them. Look, check them out. All right? Okay. As we end this, just a recap of all the things we talked about. Legacy starts with vision. All right? A family without a long-term vision cannot leave a long-lasting legacy. Very, very important. Legacy is bigger than wealth. Money can be inherited, but purpose, influence, and a family name must be intentionally built. All right? Legacy requires preparation. Great families don't just raise children, they prepare future custodians of their family vision. The last thing I want to leave with you is that legacy is built today, not tomorrow, today. The decision you make today determines what your family will become tomorrow. So I hope that this helps each and every one of us. Remember that the whole idea of why I do this is to stir up a dissatisfaction within your spirit man, to awaken the possibilities that are in you. And if for the last 1 hour or so, nothing has happened, you need to check yourself, because there's no way these things are shared. We either encourage you or challenge you to do something better. So remember that the Bible tells us that I've seen servants on horses while princes walk on the ground like servants. From Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Ensure that you're at the right place at the right time, doing God's plan for your life. Remember that the wise always invest. Invest in whatever will make your family have a strong family legacy. And if you do that, you can never go wrong. This is me saying to you, Udo, peace, and I'm out. God bless you. Bye-bye.